Morning, everyone. Okay, so here's the term planner. Now, what you're about to see will be a repeat of what we've already done. But if you have a look in YouTube, you'll be able to see that I've actually put it in sections. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Well, actually for us, it'll all just start in week 2. So in week 2, we learned what the assessment task was, and we had downloaded Notepad++. Lesson 2, you were introduced to HTML. Week 3, we worked on the brown bear, and most of us got up to styling text. Week 4, we were continuing along. This is where in week 4, this is where some people actually got up to the styling text and what have you. It would be good if we could complete the brown bear by the end of week 4 and start the assessment in week 5. But look, if we haven't, it's no stress. Okay, so week 2, we're going to go through the assessment task and we're going to download and install Notepad++. Notepad++ is a text editor, which means you use it to write code. You do not have to use Notepad++ if you don't want to. There are other ones out there. And if you've already got one, if you're already a coder and you've already got a one that you prefer to use, by all means use it. If you've never coded before, just download Notepad++. It just makes it easier. If you're on a Mac, you won't be able to download Notepad++. You'll probably have to use something like Brackets, and that's fine too. You're just writing the code at this point. So long as you save your file as a HTML, it will display in a browser. Okay, so this is what you're being graded on. Definition and composition of terms and function requirements and constraints. So that's basically your code, making sure that it all works. You're testing and modifying it, and this is your email communication. This is the assessment. The assessment is basically you're going to be given a website that will have 3 HTML files, 1 CSS file, 12 image files, and an audio file. Now, the code is going to be broken in a couple of these files. You'll be given instructions, step-by-step instructions as to what you need to fix. And basically to arrive at a C, all you need to do is fix the code so that the site displays as it should. You will be expected to write a 300-word summary of how you achieved that and how you went about fixing the problem. And when you submit your assessment, you need to zip the file, the website back up and submit it back to me, all in the zip folder. Okay, so your workbook is going to be very important because your workbook has the instructions for what you've got to do in your assessment. So the first part will be a snip. You'll have to add a snip of Notepad++ to show that you've downloaded it, or whatever text editing program you've decided to use. All right. You don't have to use Notepad++, and as I said, if you're on a Mac, you will have to use a program called Brackets. There are other programs out there that you can use. Just so long as you're using a text editor, I don't mind, because when I receive the files, I'll be opening it in whatever mine is. Once we've finished the brown bear, you'll put a snip of it here in your workbook. Now, these are the instructions for your assessment. Okay, it's all very, very clear and concise and all written there for you. If you can just do this independently after coding the brown bear and maybe having a play around in Grok, you're sitting at a C. If you need extra scaffolding and more help, we'll have to see how that goes. If you want to grade higher than a C, then there's a few things that you can do to the website. You can change the header image, you can change the color, you can change the font, you can change the font color. It's just open for interpretation. But if you can just do the basics, that's a pass, guys. This is what the site should look like once you have finished correcting all the errors. And once, of course, you've completed your assessment, you must zip it back up and upload it to OneDrive. And then in your workbook, that's where you'll put your 300-word analysis. So this will be just how you went about fixing the code and how you found it. All right, now we're going to download Notepad++. Now, click on, if you just do a Google search for Notepad++, it'll come up. And when you get there, you want to get the Notepad 7.8.8 release. Brackets, there's no release, it's just a straight download. You'll be fine. Just brackets, and it's brackets IO. I will put the link into a Word document. Okay, so here we go. Notepad++. Right, it's this one here. I am just going to grab that and I'm going to put it in this Word document. So you guys will have access to this Word document. I will upload it with the file, with the video file. Okay, so 7.8.8 release. Now scroll down, you don't want the 32-bit, you want the 64, and you go to the installer. And you hit install. It will download down here. So it gives you that warning each time. You say keep, and you go file, open. Now I've already got it on this computer, so I'm not sure how it's going to work. I'm just going to say yes. It says please select a language. Okay. So I'm just going to exit out because I don't need to. All right. And I'll show you how to do that back in the PowerPoint. All right. When you're going through though, go agree, go next. Next, create a shortcut on your desktop, all right, because that's what you're going to have to take a snap of. Okay, now brackets. Okay, so this is the program for brackets, and you just simply download it. And I'll add the brackets link as well to the Word document. So far in our Word document, there's our two links. All right. Okay, so we've got our installer. Create shortcut. Now once you've done that, add a snip of Notepad++ into your workbook. Email netiquette. I'm going to go through this quickly. You can pause it and have a look yourself. All right. So we need to set up a signature. If you are using the online program, you click your settings cog and then view all Outlook settings. Once you're there, it will default to layout. All right. Click on compose and reply. Pop your email signature in here. Make sure you tick automatically include my signature on new emails that I compose and automatically include my signature on messages I forward or reply to. Make sure those two are ticked. And you're done. These are just instructions on how to do it in the app. I'll just quickly slide through them. Not many students use the app. Now, your signature should look something like that. Look, if it doesn't look exactly, it's not, but that should have your name, should have some sort of salutation in there, your year level. Now, when you write to your teachers, it is preferable if you put the code. So if you're in this class, it'd be DIG 08 or 09, A or B or C or D or whatever class you're in. And then a little what it's about. Reason for your email in 3 words or less. All right, just something very small right there. Okay, you don't need to do this part.